You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth! I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom.
There's a technique I learned, right, when you're about to start shooting. And what you do is you just spend about 15 seconds going like...
You're filming this, aren't you?
Well, yeah. There you go. Now you feel looser, don't you?
Oh, God.
All right, cool. So, hello. This is The Truth About Men, hosted by me, Kieren. What is this? This is a show, channel, whatever, that is here to show you what is going on in the minds of the men that you may or may not be dating. Now, something I always say is that in order for me to explain why a man has done the thing that he's done, I need to get into his mindset. I have to actually see things from his perspective. That then means that when I explain what's going on, it's going to sound like I agree. I don't necessarily actually agree, though. I'm just explaining why he did what he did from his perspective. Okay? There we go. And today, I have with me...
Hello.
Hold on.
Oh, hello.
We ain't got there yet. I have with me
me
a very special guest. He goes by the name of Abigail. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. So, question number 1 comes from my friend Sade. She goes, Kieren, why do men ghost and then watch your stories for eternity, forever? Do you have a thought on that?
This happens many times. I was having a conversation with my housemate, actually. The same thing has happened to her. She was asking me, why is he still looking at my stories if he's not interested anymore? Why did he cut me off? Does he still want to be involved? What's going on? Surely if he is not interested, he wouldn't be stalking me every time I post up a story.
Usually in situations like that, kind of what's going on is that there's a reason why he didn't want to actually get with her. But that reason doesn't necessarily mean that he's 100% sold on the idea. So it could be like he isn't convinced enough about her to actually like take the plunge and be with her in any way. But there's still a little bit of fear, like FOMO, fear of missing out going on. And he's still like kind of curious about it. Women do this stuff as well.
Yeah.
I've had women do that to me. There was a woman who I, let's just say, dated, for lack of a better phrase. We had like one date. We did whatever we did. We had one date. We did whatever we did. And then she wanted something more after that. But the truth is I didn't. And to be honest with you, it was like, if I'm just going to be really frank, she was covered with tattoos, which I didn't mind at all. I quite like tattoos. But she was like incredibly like gothic, like to the point of it almost being extreme. Like she had a split in her tongue.
Okay.
And like she had a tongue like a snake.
Is that why you went with her?
That's why I couldn't do it. That's why I couldn't do it. And it,
little kink coming out.
It was a bit much.
Okay.
Like her whole thing was, it was like, because I'm a guy who's like, I'm unique and I do my own thing and whatever, but she pushed me outside of my comfort zone for like how comfortable I was to be like, oh, this is somebody that I'm with. So I didn't continue to see her. But in my head, I still had like fondness towards her. I still thought about her.
What if?
Almost, kind of. Like, it's not like, it wasn't like I was pining for her. Maybe I was slightly, but I didn't actually do it. I didn't go ahead with it, but I still continued to have a look because...
You're curious.
Yeah, and on some level, I guess I wasn't really proud of the fact that I didn't feel strong enough to accept the whole stuff.
It's interesting because on the girl's perspective at this point, obviously, if you've called it off with them and you don't want to go and pursue it any further, and she's seeing this name that she's still clinched onto pop up in her stories, it's like a little gut punch every time. But I understand, that's life, that's the reality. You kind of just gotta go by your stride and accept that that's a thing. I guess there needs to be a little bit more of a, not even closure, but yeah, it does play on girls' minds, definitely.
I don't really think that this is like a man or a woman thing, no, because women do it too.
Yeah.
I've had women who have been talking to me and then they've just stopped responding. but I see them look at my story every day. And you know, as well, there's a way that you can gauge how interested someone is in you. Because like, let's say in a day you post 10 stories. Right, so you post like 10 individual story segments in a day. And from when you post that 10, you can see like how far people make it through the entire list of stories. You can. So someone like, for instance, my brother, he only ever like look at one story and then he clicks away. So I know my brother doesn't really give a crap about what I'm up to, right?
He sees you, he's like, oh God, no more.
Pretty much, right? But then there's people who's like, boom, 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 boom. And I've had women like, they're not talking to me, but they're looking at everything. They are. And yeah, I think in those situations, I think what's going on is that there's a reason why they won't get with you, but they're still intrigued. Like, for instance, me. I know that I've had women respond to me the way I responded to you, that woman I'm just talking about. Because I've made some pretty, let's call it, risque content in the past and stuff. So if you're a woman and you're really like buttoned down and conservative, I might be like a little bit too scary or dangerous or whatever.
I guess what I say to that, too much for you might not be too much for someone else.
There you go.
So, you know, this Mrs. Tongue lady might find someone with 2 slits in their tongue, you know?
Well, she actually did.
There we go.
She actually did.
So it was a blessing that you did it.
No, she actually did. She got
I
with
love
this guy.
this.
And like, I would look at them together and it's like, I was happy for her because like, she would be like hugging him and stuff, and he had like piercings all over his face, and you know, like when they've got the ear and like they've, you know, you put that thing in the ear and it like splits the ear open.
What's it called? Stretcher. I can't remember what it's called. Something like that.
He had that, and she was so happy with him.
Oh,
She was so happy with him. And I saw that, I was like, yeah, good for her.
Oh, I love this. It's interesting, isn't it, how 2 people can have similar like appearances and then they can be together, but like their personalities might be entirely different. You just never know.
You never know. And do you have anything else to add?
It's just interesting because personally for me, I'm not gonna lie, put my hands up, I will see someone that's messaged me and I'll still click on their story and I won't open the message. See, that probably happens on the reverse of that as well. So they're probably thinking, why are you looking at my stories but you haven't replied to my messages? Personally, I'm like,
people forget that you can see who looks at them.
Do you know, I don't have any shame. I'm like, you know, I've looked at your story, I'll reply to you when I'm ready to. That's what I think. We've got busy lives, and if I'm replying to someone, I want to give them that moment that I have for them and a genuine response, not a quick response. Like, I want to give them my time properly. That's the reason I do that.
Understood. So with that is it for The Truth About Men. If you've been watching this and you feel like, wow, this is really interesting, the conversations that they're having, this is like a channel that I really need to get behind, because everything that I'm hearing today is beautiful, wonderful, amazing, and insightful. Please like the video. If you like the video, YouTube will suggest it to more people will find it. Subscribe, then slam that notification bell so that you're notified when new videos come up. And also drop a comment so that we know what you think as well. You know, how do you feel about this? Have you been in a similar situation in the past? Let us know. Thank you. Good day. So guess what? I want to interrupt this video to let you know that I'm also an author. I'm not just a dating coach, but I'm also an author too. And I've written a book that I spent a ton of time working on. It is called Preeta's Web of Chaos, and it is a young girl's journey of transformation. Now, what happens is that she encounters some situations that are really hard for her to deal with. They scare her, they terrify her, they push her outside of her comfort zone, and as a result of dealing with these hardships, she learns to find a strength, a resilience, a courageousness, and a power inside her that she did not know actually existed. Like I said, I tried really hard with this book, and the reason why I write it is because I wrote it is because I love to write stories. It's the main thing that I want to do, and I just want to share my passion with the world. So if you could find it in your heart to give it a try, there's a link in the description. I'll just love you for life.